Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 18th Annual Education and Dialogue Ramadan Dinner on behalf of the Pearl of the Islands Foundation. I greet you with the traditional Muslim salutation of Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Kia ora. My name is Mehmet and I'm the Youth and Community Programs Coordinator at the PIF. I will be your host for the evening. Joining me as my co-host is Sidka Güler.
Hello, my name is Sidika and I am a volunteer at PIF and I'm also a team member at Art Masterclass New Zealand, which is the creative arm of PIF. I'm also currently in my final year of teaching at the University of Auckland to become a primary school teacher. Together we look forward to guiding you throughout this special event, but before we begin, I just need to take you through a few housekeeping reminders. So the bathrooms are located just through the doors next to the green exit signs. And in case of an emergency, please follow the exit signs within the room. Also, for those of you who wish to perform your evening prayers, prayer facilities are available downstairs.
We have many distinguished guests here amongst us. I would like to welcome the Pearl of the Island Foundation directors, members, and advisory board members. And there are some special guests here who I'd like to also welcome. So members of the Parliament, Ms. Camilla Bellich and Ms. Helen White, former Member of Parliament, Dr. Ashraf Chowdhury, Councillor Ms. Desley Simpson, Chief Executive of Diversity Works New Zealand and today's keynote speaker, Ms. Maritha Smith, Finance representatives Mr. Ibrar Sheikh and Sheikh Mohammed Amir. From New Zealand Police, Strategic Advisor Superintendent Rakesh Naidu and Superintendent Naila Hassan, lecturers of universities, principals and teachers of education institutions. Representatives of various organisations, faiths and communities, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you for being a part of this evening.
We would now like to welcome Ms. Helene Crown to the stage to lead us in an opening karakia as we commence the program.
Merhaba, greetings, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia inoi tātou. E te atua ka harawa tēnei anō mātou o pononga, e koropiko nei I mui a koe. Heavenly Father, we come before you at this time and pray that you'll cast upon us your holy blessings, Father, as we have come together to celebrate the end of Ramadan, Father. We give thanks for bringing this wonderful group together, Father. Nō reira tēnei te inoi atu kia koe, e runga te ingoa tautama a ihu kraiti. Kia uhia mai tō wairua tapu, ki runga e tēnei huinga, e whakakotahi nei I raro iho, e te tuanui o tēnei whare. Kia tau hoki, ngā manaakitanga, ki runga e ra e māwiwi te ana, ki runga tō tātou kuini, hono wai I te pō. Kia hoki mai kia mātou e te atua, e whakakotahi nei, e tahuri nei I te whakakotahi, ngā iwi katoa, I runga I raro I tō ingoa, I tō mana, tēnei te ingoa atu kia koe, I runga te ingoa tautama a ihu kraiti. E tō mātou matua nui te rangi, kia tapu tō ingoa, kia tai mai tō rangatiratanga, kia me te tau e pai ai ki runga te whenua, kia rite anō ki tō rangi. Ho mai kia mātou ai anei he taro mo mātou mo tēnei rā. Muru o mātou hara, me mātou hoki e muru nei I o te hanga e harana kia mātou. Au hoki mātou e kawea kia whakawaia, e ngari whakaoringia mātou I te kino, nau hoki te rangatiratanga, te kaha me te kroria, mo ake, ake ake, āmene. Tēnā tātou katoa.
Thank you very much for your karakia. So The Pearl of the Islands Foundation is a non-profit organisation dedicated to fostering interfaith dialogue, education and humanitarian initiatives in New Zealand. It was established in 2006 by members of the Turkish Muslim community, and PIF has grown into a vibrant platform that seeks to strengthen social bonds, promote mutual understanding, and celebrate multiculturalism within New Zealand's richly diverse society. For nearly 2 decades, PIF has remained committed to its mission of creating a more united, peaceful, and understanding New Zealand, serving as a beacon of hope and a model for how communities can thrive through mutual respect and collaboration.
The PIF has been organising a series of Ramadan iftar dinners for over a decade. These iftar dinners are held during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, and they are a great opportunity for individuals to engage in first-hand cultural experiences and advance social cohesion amongst communities. Our aim is to foster growth and development of a harmonious and inclusive community, accepting the beautiful diversity of New Zealand.
It is a tremendous honour and privilege to welcome all of you this evening for this breaking of the fast. Let us now watch a video which beautifully explains the true meaning of Ramadan.
Soaring smoothly, unhindered across the sky. The breeze peacefully caressing her feathers, lifting her above the clouds, closer to the sun and to the light. Independent, unaffected from the pull of the earth. Freedom, it's what we all yearn for. Our feet are chained by gravity, but our spirit longs to take flight like the bald eagle. We want to roam as mightily as the lions of Serengeti, rise as high as the Himalayas, hold the torch with the Statue of Liberty, and overflow like Amazon, unobstructed. Freedom is what we cannot do without. It defines every human the best. When not restrained, however, anything might go to extremes anywhere. Scorching wildfires and tornadoes destroy whatever comes into their path. Similarly, unrestrained desires to consume lead to incredible junk piling up in our garages and skyrocketing credit card balances. The unrestrained passion to rise in status and wealth often promises much, but ends up leading many into depression and disease. True freedom is somewhere in between. We cannot manage acts of God, but perhaps we can manage acts of the human. Freedom isn't doing whatever we want whenever we want. It is not to feed our soul with immediate gratification, nor is it to chase one desire after another. It is not about doing whatever it takes to achieve our career or business goals. True freedom is when we can master ourselves. It is when we can triumph over the captivities we are bound with, from political aspirations to petty cravings, from the obsession of checking emails and social media all the time, to desiring the most luxurious homes and the early morning can't wake up without it coffee with cream. And this final challenge is often the toughest, and ironically, the first one to start with if we seek true liberation. The holy month of Ramadan offers us a priceless opportunity for this liberation. Fasting from sunrise to sundown, we say no to food and drink, building the willpower needed to conquer our souls. By submitting to the will of God, believers free themselves from all other submissions. Not driven by our physicality, our internal vision becomes clear, as the veils of the material world are lifted one by one. Then we start to feel that there is an even bigger reality of ourselves hidden deep down under our skin. Those who observe Ramadan usually do so with the larger family and neighbors. The rather calm day away from food and vain talk is followed by a joyful dinner where believers break bread together in a collective spirit of gratitude. Each day becomes a Thanksgiving day in Ramadan, where each morsel of food, a sip of water, and everything we otherwise take for granted reveal their true, incredible taste. That's when our dark roasted coffee delivers its best flavor. Ramadan is not only about abstaining from food and getting thinner at the end of the month. Through that abstinence, one is also expected to excel in character. When provoked, say, "I am fasting," urges the Holy Prophet. God does not need him to leave food and drink unless he also leaves bad words and behavior. True freedom is not when we respond to vileness in kind, but when we master our emotions not to. It is when we learn to tame our cravings and liberate ourselves from distractions, of which there are many more today than ever before. So come, join us at our table in this celebration of freedom. Ramadan Mubarak.
I will now, on behalf of PIF and Little Pearls Educare Centre, invite Managing Director Mr. Tana Bassar to take the stage and extend a warm welcome to you all.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening, salam, peace be upon you. This year is my 24th year of being in New Zealand. It means half of my life, so you can estimate my age now. Gone in New Zealand. Sometimes wherever I go, I talk and people, they say, where are you from? I said, I'm from Auckland, but where's your accent from? I said, yes, from Turkey. So probably still I'm keeping my accent and people still trying to discover. Just wanted to start with that. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all on behalf of Pearl of the Islands Foundation and also Pearl of the Islands Foundation known as PIF and the Little Pearls. I'm the managing director of the childcare centers, along with Nazife, my wife, she is sitting there. And our annual Education and Dialogue Ramadan dinner tonight here at Sorrento. This special event is made even more meaningful by your presence as our esteemed guests. Your blessings enrich this fare, and the korero we share tonight strengthens our bonds and deepens our strengths. This evening is more than a shared meal. It's a celebration of the values that unite us: compassion, understanding, and the spirit of the community. I hope that as we have here tonight, we feel more connected, enriched, and inspired than ever before. Culture is integral to our identity, shaping who we are in how we look, think, communicate, behave, and even what we eat. Sharing cultural knowledge and experiences help us develop respect and aroha for one another. Ramadan, in particular, provides a unique opportunity for cultural exchange and fostering social cohesion. It's a time for reflection, self-discipline, and spiritual renewal. I heard tonight when I was talking to someone, revival. Through patience and gratitude, we gain clarity, and through kindness and generosity, we build stronger bonds. Just as lamp shines brightest in the darkness, Ramadan illuminates our hearts, guiding us towards selflessness, humility, and devotion. At both PIF and Little Pearls, we believe true change begins with education and dialogue. By learning from each other, embracing different perspectives, and coming together with open hearts, we lay the foundation of thriving, inclusive society. And this society becomes more enriched and cohesive when people live in peace and integration, where every voice is heard and every story respected. In a world that sometimes feels divided, gatherings like this remind us of our shared values, the desire for peace, respect, and belonging. As we engage in Korero tonight, share stories, and reflect on our common humanity, let us reaffirm our commitment to building bridges and strengthen our friendships. I would like to take a moment to honor a well-known Turkish scholar, Fethullah Gülen, and you will also hear more about him later this evening. His teachings have inspired millions, including myself and many members of PIF here tonight. and the Little Pearls. He dedicated his life to interfaith and intercultural dialogue, community service, and providing access to quality education. Though we lost him in October last year, rest in peace, his legacy continues to live on. His vision of creating peace islands, like here tonight, places where love, empathy, tolerance, and peace thrive, remains a guiding light for us. Just as seed grows into a tree that provides shade and shelter, each of us has the power to nurture these peace islands in our communities, like small sanctuaries where kindness and understanding can flourish. I would like to conclude with a quote from the renowned poet Rumi. Listen with the ears of tolerance, see through the eyes of compassion, speak with the language of love. Once again, thank you all for being here tonight. May this blessed month of Ramadan bring peace to you and your loved ones. Enjoy your dinner. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening.
Thank you very much for those lovely words. So this year's event theme is Building Cultures Through Education and Dialogue, and it reflects the core mission of PIF. At PIF, we believe that education and meaningful dialogue are powerful tools for fostering understanding, respect, and unity in our diverse communities. Through our various initiatives, including cultural exchange programs, community engagement activities, and educational workshops, we strive to create spaces where people from all backgrounds can come together, learn from one another, and build lasting relationships. Whether it's through one of our youth programs, interfaith dialogues, or creative initiatives like Art Masterclass, we are committed to promoting a more inclusive and harmonious society.
To delve deeper into this theme, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker, Ms. Maritha Smith. Maritha is the Chief Executive of Diversity Works New Zealand, formerly the Equal Employment Opportunities Trust. She has held a number of executive leadership roles in her native South Africa and in New Zealand. With extensive experience in the health, disability and education sectors, where she delivered systems change and large-scale transformation programs to improve social outcomes. She has a strong background and appreciation of the challenges in diversity and inclusion, particularly in relation to cultural diversity. She recently ended a term of 6 years on the board of Belong Aotearoa and is passionate about the migrant experience. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Maritha Smith to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, kia ora koutou. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very, very much for having me here tonight. I also have the A4s that I'm going to try to stick to because there is so much happening in our environment at the moment that even I might be surprised what comes out of my mouth if I don't follow the script. But it is an incredible and profound honour for me to be here with you tonight, gathered in the spirit of reflection, of gratitude and in unity as we prepare to break the fast together. This moment, as we've heard, is a moment that's one of more than a religious ritual. It is the sacred moment where we are renewing faith, where we're looking to our community and seeing our shared humanity. I want to recognize just a couple of things before I start, is that this iftar comes during a particularly difficult week for this community. A few days ago, we marked the 6th anniversary of the Christchurch mosque terror attacks. It's a very painful reminder of the fact that we are still facing so much hatred and so much division in our communities. And just yesterday, we also had on the global stage, we were confronted with the devastating news about the fact that the ceasefire in Gaza was again under threat. So I want to recognize the fact that we are in challenging and in very, very confronting times. It is in moments like this when the grief and the injustice weigh very heavily upon all of us and on our hearts, that coming together like this really matters. Our sharing of a meal, our support of one another, becomes an act of resistance against the despair and a way of saying, we will not be divided, not on our watch. And let me pause again here just for a second to acknowledge Pearl of the Island Foundation, the vital work that you are doing in fostering understanding, fostering dialogue, support for the humans and the communities who face immense strain during these times. Through your efforts, we strengthen the bonds that hold us together. So when I first began thinking about this keynote, I was a little bit tempted to take a familiar path for me, one that I know well around workplace inclusion. I thought about speaking about how migration is shaping the face of New Zealand, our national identity, how the way in which we settle new migrants affect not just the individuals, but it affects our workplaces, it affects our community, it affects our economy, it affects our social cohesion. I wanted to talk about the role of employment specifically in fostering a sense of belonging. And while all of this remains true, and while all of this remains important, I found myself with a profound sense of unease, talking about these as constructs and concepts, while the lived experience of many in this room is not that of being included in workplaces and feeling a sense of belonging in workplaces, and we see that through our work every single day. So I had a sense of looking at a different start, and I was inspired by a piece that I read in The Guardian by a dear colleague and friend of mine, Kat Ekdamian, where she noted that for the first time in decades, 3 major religious traditions, Christianity, Islam, and the Baha'i faith, are observing their sacred fasting periods at the same time this year. She posed a very compelling question by asking what it is about religious practices that endure. Why, in the face of secular society, do traditions such as fasting persist across generations, across cultures, and across time? We are living in extraordinary times. The speed at which the world is changing, the relentless shift in geopolitics, the rise of the culture wars, the deepening of the divisions, it feels very overwhelming. And in the face of so much upheaval, I often find myself in the middle of the night going, what can we do? What can I do? Which brings me to the theme of tonight, which is building cultures through education and dialogue. And herein, I believe, is our greatest hope. Education and dialogue are not abstract concepts. They are the foundation for belonging. To belong, we must first understand, and we must first be understood. And understanding requires learning and conversation. This does not happen in classrooms only. It happens in every interaction. It happens at every shared meal. It happened at every honest, authentic conversation where we are open to listening to each other's stories and opening ourselves to each other's perspectives. From my particular professional vantage point, our workplaces are critical places and spaces for cross-cultural dialogue. They are where we challenge our biases, where relationships are formed, where people from different backgrounds can come together and can learn from each other. And the best workplaces don't just tolerate diversity. The best workplaces cultivate it as a strength. They create opportunities for employees to engage with different cultural perspectives, to learn about the shared history, including Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and they build a national identity which is rooted in respect and in inclusion. And we can only do that through education and dialogue. And in fact, I'm tempted to reframe the theme to education through dialogue, because gone are those days where learning could happen in a one-directional silo. So we must learn from each other, we must speak up for each other, we must be part of these conversations, stand together. It is not just the work of institutions and of policymakers. It's the work of every individual in this room. in our workplaces, in our communities, in our daily interactions. We all have a role to play in these times in to resist division and to shape a future that honours everybody who want to call Aotearoa their home. So yes, globally and locally, we are seeing the backlash against diversity, equity and inclusion. There are those who seek to sow division, to turn us against each other. As I've noted at our Diversity Awards last year, this work used to be called the Equal Employment Opportunities. It used to then change to diversity and inclusion. Then we changed to diversity, equity, inclusion. Who knows where we are going to be in the next year or in the next 2 years? Do we care? Because this work will continue. It has over years and through decades. And where there's a will, we will make sure that we get our people to be included and to be belonging. So the antidote is solidarity. Let's stand together as migrants, as tangata whenua, as allies, to uphold the fairness, the dignity and the right for everyone to belong. And this brings me back full circle to the conversation about religion and the purpose for this meal tonight. At its core, faith inspires people to strive for something greater than themselves. It instills the discipline that we've heard about. It nurtures compassion. It calls for us to bend the arc of history towards justice. And in an era of much uncertainty, much division, faith encourages the introspection that we need when society demands distraction. It pushes back against the excess in culture that tells us that we are never satisfied. So tonight, with the breaking of the fast, let us not only share a meal, but let us also recommit ourselves to the work ahead, to the conversations that build bridges, to the learning that deepen understanding, to the solidarity that ensures that no one gets left behind, to make sure that our faith does not get co-opted in the ideological power struggles, and to the quiet but powerful resistance of choosing unity over division, justice over complacency, and hope over despair. Let's leave this gathering nourished in body, but also strengthened in spirit. Shukran nami nui. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that valuable insight about education through dialogue. And now we are in for a very special treat because we are honoured to have the Rawiri whānau with us tonight, and they will be doing a multicultural performance. So they will be sharing with us their incredible musical talent. So please join me for giving them a warm welcome and enjoy the show. And thank you very much, Angela, for organising the performance.
Tēnā tātou, ko ai ahau, ko Breeze tōku ingoa, ko Legacy tēnei. Me and Legacy are going to sing you just one song for now. We'll save the better ones for later. But yeah, if you know this waiata, feel free to sing along. ora.
Thank you for that beautiful performance. We all thoroughly enjoyed it. So now it is my pleasure to share with you the tradition of the Pearl of the Islands Foundation, and that is where each year PIF awards are presented to recognise outstanding contributions of individuals towards the promotion of dialogue and understanding between members of diverse communities. So the awards acknowledge the engagement of individuals with both their own faith and culture as well as the culture and faith of others, and also recognises both similarities and differences. So this engagement includes personal efforts and institutional involvement in community outreach and promoting dialogue in both public and private domains to foster a harmonious and cohesive society. PIF recognise exceptional individuals in two categories.
So our first award is the Community Leadership Award. The Community Leadership Award is handed out to an outstanding recipient for their effort made towards promoting a better understanding of faiths and cultures through the fair and objective coverage of events and individuals in our multicultural society. The recipient of the Community Leadership Award of 2025 is Miss Maritha Smith. As mentioned earlier, Maritha has held a number of senior leadership roles in her native South Africa and New Zealand, including that of Chief Executive of a large member organisation where she affected significant transformation changes across an entire sector. She has a strong background and appreciation of the challenges in diversity and inclusion, with experiences in senior leadership roles in the disability sector, as well as delivering programs to improve social cohesion through performing arts, education and training. She's passionate about her life purpose, to create a more sustainable and equitable society through national conversations and creating initiatives. Maritha has a degree in psychology from the University of Stellenbosch, a master's degree in business administration from the Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, Scotland, and is a chartered director of the Institute of Directors in South Africa. She is a trustee and chair of the Finance Committee of Belong Aotearoa, a specialist settlement agency that focuses on addressing the barriers to successful integration of newcomers in New Zealand. May I please welcome Ms. Maritha Smith to come to the stage to receive the Community Leadership Award 2025. And to present this award, I would like to welcome PIF Executive Director, Mr. Yalcin Solak, to the stage.
Kia ora whānau, I think I've said my bit, but I do want to just thank Pearl of the Island Foundation so much for this recognition, and I'm really, really, really humbled to receive it, because I know of so many deserving people who do so much in our communities. Community leadership or leadership is not the job of a single person, it is the job of many people moving together. And so I receive this on behalf of every single person with boots on the ground to make sure that our communities are functioning well and live better every single day. Kia ora. Thank you very much.
Our second award is the Public Service Award. The exceptional recipient of this award has supported, promoted, and initiated intercultural and interfaith dialogue in the public domain to help build a cohesive society through engagement, policies, and political action. Helene Crown is a respected member of the Kaumatua Advisory Group, known for her unwavering dedication to community service, education, and cultural advocacy. Over the years, she has worn many hats, earning her the affectionate title of Auntie within the diverse communities in Aotearoa. Her presence is felt across community centres, marae, organisations and schools where she has played a pivotal role in fostering connection, knowledge sharing and cultural preservation. Helene's extensive contributions span multiple sectors, making a lasting impact across New Zealand. She is a highly respected cultural advisor, offering invaluable guidance on cultural and environmental matters through her hard work with the Te Onga Advisory Group and Auckland Council. As an educator and English tutor, she has supported international students in their academic journeys, while her role as an archivist and historian has been instrumental in documenting intergenerational histories to preserve cultural heritage. With expertise in the health and education sectors, she has served as an external clinical placement advisor and radiographer, bringing knowledge and mentorship to future professionals. She is also a passionate environmental advocate, actively contributing to conservation efforts to protect Aotearoa's natural environment. Her dedication extends to public health through her role as a Ministry of Health advisor, ensuring that community needs are well represented. As a bilingual educationalist and certified Treaty of Waitangi tutor, she has taught across all levels from early childhood to tertiary education with a strong focus on geography, history and te tiriti o Waitangi, helping to shape an understanding and respect for New Zealand's cultural foundations. Helene's lifelong commitment to empowering communities, preserving culture, and advocating for education and well-being makes her a true protagonist for positive change. May I please welcome Ms. Helene Crown to the stage to receive the Public Service Award of 2025, and to present this award, I would like to welcome former MP, PIF member, Professor Ibrahim Haskur.
Hui hui katu, wehe wehe kahina. United we stand, divided we fall. Tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou katoa. To each and every one of Phil Foundation, thank you so much. Oh goodness me. You know, like they say, it doesn't take just the village to make a child. Takes the whole world, doesn't it? We can't do this on our own, and as everything on. Marita, congratulations. Thank you for sharing the to share the stage with you and many others. Tēnei te mihi atu kia korua aku moko puna tēnā korua. I'm just saying thank you to those moko puna that did the entertaining. But once again, oh, so many to say thank you to. But I'm going to say it in just this few in song. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa, paunamu te moana, kia tau te karohirohi, I mua, I tō tātou, huarahi e. Translation. May the calm be widespread, and may the sea glisten like greenstone, and may that glimmer of sunshine dance across our pathways. Te Aroha Island Foundation. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. But on saying that, kia mihi atu ki te matua nui te rangi. Greetings and honours to our great Creator who's brought us here today. We give thanks for our wonderful rain. Isn't it great? And we mihi to our land, our whenua. Kia mihi atu kia papatu anuku, kia rangi nui. E noho nei mātou I Wainganui a Rāwa. To the mother in heaven, that we are gathered between the feet. Nō reira, anō kia koutou tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Thank you, Elaine, for those inspirational words. According to Islamic tradition, the Quran was revealed over a 23-year period, and the revelation started during the month of Ramadan. Muslims regard the Quran as the culmination of a series of divine messages that started with those revealed to Adam. And Adam is regarded as the very first prophet in Islam. This continued with the scrolls of Abraham, the Torah to Prophet Moses, Psalms to Prophet David, and Bible revealed to Prophet Jesus. The aforementioned books are not explicitly included in the Quran, but are acknowledged and recognized therein as the Word of God. The Quran also refers to many events from Jewish and Christian traditions and scriptures, some of which are retold in comparatively distinctive ways from the Bible and the Torah. I would like to invite Sheikh Mohammed Amir, Mufti of New Zealand, Chairman, Ulama Board, to the stage for the recitations from the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon all of you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تخرجون ومن آياته أن خلقكم من تراب ثم إذا أنتم بشر تنتشرون ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآيات للعالمين ومن آياته منامكم بالليل والنهار وابتغاؤكم من فضله إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يسمعون ومن آياته يريكم البرق خوفا وطمعا وينزل من السماء ماء فيحيي به الأرض بعد موتها إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون ومن آياته أن تقوم السماء والأرض بأمره ثم إذا دعاكم دعوة من الأرض إذا أنتم تخرجون وله من في السماوات والأرض كل له قانتون وهو الذي يبدأ الخلق ثم يعيده وهو أهون عليه وله المثل الأعلى في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم صدق الله العظيم. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. We try to reflect over the meaning of what we have recited today. Though true translation cannot be possible as the language of Arabic is so comprehensive, so the approximate meaning that we could put here. So give glory to Allah when you reach in the evening and when you rise in the morning. To Him be praise in the evening, and to Him be praise in the heaven and the earth, and in the late afternoon, and when the day begins to decline. It is He who brings out the living from the dead, and brings out the dead from the living, and who gives life to the earth after it is dead, and thus shall you be brought out from the dead. Among His signs is this, that He created you from dust, and then behold, you are human scattered far and wide. And among His signs is this, that He created for you, made from among yourselves, that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And He has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, in that are signs for those who reflect. And among His signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the variations in your languages and your colors. Verily, in that are signs for those who know. And among His signs is the sleep that you take by night and by day, and the quest that you make for livelihood out of His bounty. Verily, in that are signs for those who listen. And among His signs, He shows you the lightning by way both of fear and of hope. And He sent down rain from the sky, and with it gives life to the earth after it is dead. Verily, in that are signs for those who are wise. And among His signs is this, that heavens and the earth stand by His command. When He calls you by a single call from the earth, behold, you straightway come forth. To Him belongs every being that is in the heavens and in the earth. All are devotedly obedient to Him. It is He who begins the process of creation, then He repeats it, and for Him it is most easy. To Him belongs the loftiest estate we can think of in the heaven and in the earth, for He is exalted in might, full of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, and Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Muhammad Amir, for the beautiful recitation. The Pearl of the Islands Foundation aligns with the principles of the Hizmet movement, inspired by prominent Turkish scholar Mr. Fethullah Gülen's philosophy. Mr. Fethullah Gülen is a renowned Islamic scholar, educator, and advocate for peace who has dedicated his life to promoting interfaith dialogue, education, and social harmony. His teachings emphasize universal values such as compassion, mutual respect, and the pursuit of knowledge, encouraging individuals to contribute positively to their communities and the wider world. PIF focuses on fostering understanding between diverse cultures and faiths, providing educational opportunities and engaging in humanitarian efforts. Through dialogue and service, PIF aims to strengthen social cohesion and promote a shared sense of belonging within New Zealand's multicultural society. Unfortunately, Late last year, Mr. Fethullah Gulen passed away. In honour of his memory and legacy, we continue to live by his teachings and values. Now, let us take a moment to reflect as we watch this video.
Life is a journey in pursuit of the brightest stars. It is a treasure that some cherish, yet squandered by others who go after fireflies. The direction we choose is ours alone to make. Fethullah Gulen, the Islamic scholar, author, and poet, chose to seek the stars, and so has passed his life continually seeking the brightest and leading the masses in that direction. Fethullah Gulen said, "Those who pursue high purposes and take action to accomplish them remain alive." His entire life stands as a powerful testimony of his words. Those who hold the holy grail of hope in their hands should fashion the hearts of generations with lofty goals and guide them to the paths leading to the fountain of revival. Guided by the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad's example, peace be upon him, Gulen urged tens of thousands to cherish this treasure of life, to live fully, and to breathe life into others, not to squander the precious gift they've been given. Throughout history, each scholar has drawn unique insights from the tradition, developing distinct approaches to engage with the world. Hizmet, serving God through serving humankind, became the guiding principle Gulen derived from the Prophet's heritage, a blueprint tailored to meet the needs of our age. Born in 1938 into a tumultuous world in a far corner of Turkey, Gulen grew up in a poor yet devout family, one filled with love and a commitment to spiritual excellence. Despite the harsh economic conditions and the political persecution faced by the faithful under the ruling regime, his family immersed themselves in Islamic knowledge and devotion. Deeply inspired by his parents' commitment to faith, and having been tutored by some of the notable religious scholars of the time, Gulen quickly emerged as an influential preacher with scholarly authority in Islamic sciences. In the 1960s and 70s, his heartfelt sermons, evocative of the time of the Prophet, drew a growing nationwide following. What truly set him apart, however, was his emphasis on education and dialogue. "We must wed the mind with the heart," Gulen said, encouraging scientific exploration of nature and the cosmos with a spirit of awe and wisdom, while also calling for self-discovery rooted in honest faith and practice. Gulen's efforts and compelling teaching gave rise to what is now known as Hizmet, a global educational movement whose volunteers have established hundreds of schools across the world. Through extensive outreach programs, Hizmet has connected with diverse communities of faith, culture, and race, demonstrating that peaceful coexistence is always possible despite our differences. In response to Gulen's emphasis on charitable work and economic solidarity, the movement actively works to alleviate poverty, particularly in underprivileged nations, by providing relief through hospitals, health clinics, and the construction of water wells. Gulen was famously known for his unwavering stance against violence, radicalism, and the exploitation of religion, especially Islam, for political gain. Despite his dedication to these values, he was perceived as a threat by the ruling elite of Turkey, who ultimately forced him into exile, never to return. Like many luminaries before him, Gulen faced repercussions for the ideals he championed. After a life of service dedicated to humanity, Gulen passed away in Pennsylvania, USA on October 20th, 2024. Despite spending his last 25 years in exile, his message of peaceful coexistence continued to thrive and gain acceptance worldwide. Following in the footsteps of scholarly giants of the past, he taught until his final days, fostering dialogue across different walks of life, between secular and religious communities, East and West, science and faith. Now on the path to the stars and having returned to the beloved, his legacy continues to inspire a commitment to peaceful coexistence and service to humanity, principles that resonate powerfully in today's polarized world.
are special edition copies of the Fountain magazine on the table commemorating the passing of Mr. Gulen, and please feel free to take one home with you tonight.
I would like to now invite Mr. Adam Solimes for the call to prayer, also known as the Adhan. I think we're running a little early. I think to buy some time, we could get a small talk. I think there's 5 minutes for sunset, so 5 more minutes. I think it'll be a false alarm for some people to break their fast. Floor reflections. We do have some floor reflections towards the end of the program. Maybe we could get 1 or 2 in before the call to prayer, before sunset. Let me just go through my notes. Uncharted and Kikishi. I'll call like 2 minutes. Okay, as we all know, this dinner is a platform for sharing experiences and ideas, and there are a few people, individuals that would like to invite to the stage for a few words. Maybe we can get the Member of Parliament, Miss Kamala Belic, for a few words.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi nui kia koutou I hui mai nei I tēnei pō, Samal alikum. Thank you for the opportunity to provide some reflections. I actually did ask whether it would be before or after dinner, and so I'm privileged to be able to speak to you a little bit about the theme of tonight, which is building cultures through education and dialogue. And I just wanted to start by saying what a pleasure it is to be here with all of you, and it's always a pleasure to be invited to events hosted by the Pearl of the Islands Foundation. I've had the honour of visiting the Little Pearls centres and seen some of the amazing work that is done at truly the beginnings of education with our children from diverse communities throughout Auckland through the Pearl of the Islands Foundation, and also to have been at previous events where I've seen amazing displays of culture and unity as well. And I have occasionally been asked to do things like dance, which has been a good experience for me because it deepened my respect of the skills that people in other cultures that of not my own have in relation to their performance and art. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to everyone for holding these events and for keeping our focus on the unity that we need. I am from the Labour Party, and recently we've had a change in some of our portfolios, and one of the portfolios that I was lucky enough to obtain and to speak on behalf of my party was that of the public service. And unfortunately, one of the first questions I was asked in that role is exactly the question that was posed by our keynote speaker tonight, is do we still need diversity, equal opportunity in work? Is it still relevant today? And my view, and what I articulated at the time, was that we very much needed to have a public service which represented the communities that the public service serves, and that everyone who works in the public service is there also because of merit. And so I think if we stand very clearly by these two pillars in our public service, which is the area that I'm looking at so closely now, we will continue to deliver for New Zealanders the services that they need. But it isn't easy, and we will face those challenges, and we will face those who seek to change what I think has been a lot of progress for many years. So I think the way, and maybe to round back to our theme, the way to address this is not through necessarily being too reactive. It's not through calling people names. It's actually through education and dialogue and through meeting people from different backgrounds. So I think that is the key, and we do need to continue to work to educate, to talk, to be with one another, and to make sure that the diversity and richness of New Zealand is reflected in all areas of life, but most fundamentally, first and foremost, at the area that we should be leading in, which is through the provision of our public services. So that's my reflections. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kamala Belic, for those words. I think it's time for the call to prayer. 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, maybe for 2 minutes, maybe we can say a few words.
Give everybody time to 2 minutes, make a dua on self.
Okay, we'll give everyone 2 minutes, 1.5 to 2 minutes of personal self-reflection. I guess to be grateful for all the blessings that we have.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة العالية وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد اللهم لك صمنا وبك آمنا وعليك توكلنا وعلى رزقك أفطرنا فتقبل منا. O Allah, we fast for you, we believe in you, we trust in you, and we break our fast with your provision, so accept it from us. Ameen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Thank you, Mr. Adam, for your beautiful recitation for the call to prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to enjoy a delicious meal. Dinner is now served. But before we get onto it, since it's a buffet and there's a lot of people here, maybe if we could get 2 tables at a time, maybe table 1 and 2, and then we'll just see how the food looks, and people could continue after that. So please take your seats, relax, and enjoy the evening. Okay, so we are delighted to welcome the Rawiri whānau back to the stage for another amazing Māori cultural performance. Their talent and passion truly shine through their music, and we're excited to experience it once again. Please join me in giving them a warm round of applause.
Tēnā koutou anō, he paku mihi tēnei kia koutou kua tae mai ki te hāpaingia e tēnei kaupapa whakahirahira. E rere ana ngā mihi kia koutou Pearl of the Islands Foundation mō koutou mahi i te pōnei. O tira kia koutou ngā nihowera kei waho apito kua ki te puku, nō reira e tuana maua ki mua i a koutou, hei whakangāhau i a koutou. Nō reira, I'll just been waved at. Ko Doug, tēnei, ko tēnei tā maua pāpā. Yeah, you gotta say something. Okay. Wait, translate what you just said. No, you go. Pretty much say it.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko tai mai ki tēnei pō ki te tautoko te kaupapa o tēnei pō. Kia ora, I'm a lucky person to have paid their way. They're my daughters. They haven't stopped asking the Bank of Dad for help. And as all our dads do, we do what we do for our children. So it's a privilege to be standing here. Our relationship started with the Pearl Foundations probably 2014 when my son Daytona went to Turkey with his Turkey mum and dad. And then he went to the IFLC and performed at the Sydney Opera House. Through the Pearl, they took him over. And then we were lucky enough to take a group of young men over to IFLC, can't remember the year, 2018 or something, or 17, to perform in front of thousands of people on the TV and in person. And then we were invited back a year later to take a group of females, our young wahine toa, our warrior woman over, to do they also done a waiata and a haka. And this is how these two have come along, so I just thought I'd get up here and give you a bit of a picture on where they've come from and why we are actually standing here. We're very privileged. Every year we get asked to come and sing a song. And every year we are so grateful. Every day that you wake up and you breathe in the first breath of air, it's a blessing and something to be grateful for. And to have good friends and family and to break food with you for your special occasion is really, really important for you, and it makes us very proud and privileged to be part of it. So I want to thank you, thank the Pearl Foundations for the invitation, and it's their turn to sing you a song. So, as I stand here, a proud man of these young wahine, there is always that person in the background, the humble wife of mine. She's hiding in the corner over there. She doesn't like to stand up and sing. So just to Mum, thank you very much. If you wonder why I'm standing here not singing, because I can't sing like that, so they don't get that off me. But they have got one more for you, so good luck.
Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. So as this dinner is a platform for sharing experiences and ideas, we would now like to invite the remainder of our floor reflection speakers to come and share your thoughts about this evening and the theme of our event. So first up, I would like to invite Superintendent Naila Hassan.
Kia ora and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Naila Hassan. Believe it or not, I'm in the New Zealand Police. I am a very proud Muslim. I hold the privileged position to be the most senior ethnic leader in our policing service with 15,000 employees. It is my absolute privilege to be here this evening with you all and to have the opportunity to share a few reflections on this blessed month. I'd like to firstly acknowledge the Pearls of Ireland's Foundation and all that you do to foster social cohesion, building safer, more harmonious and kinder communities. It's a cause closely aligned with the purpose of New Zealand Police, to ensure that everyone feels safe and can be safe. For me personally, as for many of us, Ramadan is a time of heightened devotion. It is a commitment to my faith, which I am incredibly proud of. It gives me that sense of clarity around purpose, a time of spiritual reflection, self-improvement, and heightened devotion to worship. It strengthens my soul. As I centre myself, refocus on what's most important in my life, I feel more grounded and a real sense of calmness. I find myself even more compassionate and empathetic towards others, particularly those in need. My fasting reinforces discipline and sacrifice, increases gratitude, and brings me closer to my thoughts and my emotions. I cherish the opportunity to spend quality time with my family and our Muslim communities. Growing up as an immigrant, a Kiwi Muslim, I felt a real sense that I was different. When I first joined the New Zealand Police at 20 years of age, I tried not to stand out. What I did know was I didn't belong. For over 2 decades, I just simply wanted to fit in. I kept my faith to myself for decades. But as I became an influential leader in New Zealand Police, there was a turning point where I realised I can be the one to influence change through my leadership. So Nyla, stop standing in the shadows. The true Nyla is the person I am at home. So why shouldn't I bring that person to work, embrace that diversity and stand proud? Today in New Zealand Police, thanks to many years and great colleagues and great leaders, I do feel like I belong. We encourage our people in New Zealand Police to do the same, to bring their full selves to work. Because we know the importance for our communities to feel represented and able to connect with New Zealand Police when they need to. Valuing diversity is one of our core police values. New Zealand is one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world. And Auckland, in fact, has been documented as being even more diverse than London. We recognise the complexity of working with such diverse communities and their unique needs. We also know some of our communities tend to have lower feelings of safety, are often victimised at higher rates, and have lower rates of trust and confidence in New Zealand Police. To ensure everyone, irrespective of culture, ethnicity, faith or religion, feels safe, our communities need to feel valued, heard and understood. Which brings me to this evening's theme and the importance of dialogue. We are committed to enhancing our connection with all communities right across New Zealand, to building our cultural capability, improving our systems and our responses to reduce victimisation and offending, and working with all communities to support your wellbeing. We know how important it is that we hear the voices of our communities, to listen and to understand your needs. Dialogue is crucial as a collaboration and meaningful engagement. On behalf of New Zealand Police, thank you for the contribution you make with our community. Let us continue the dialogue to ensure everyone can be safe and also to feel safe. May the year ahead be full of blessings, good health and happiness. Finally, to the Foundation, thank you for inviting me. You have done so for many years, and every year, I think it's probably been at least 6, somehow operational policing gets in the way. Today, it hasn't. I feel absolutely privileged to be here. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
Now we would like to invite up Member of Parliament, Ms. Helen White.
Kia ora koutou, kia ora koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. Assalamu alaikum. And Ramadan Mubarak. I I have been listening to everyone's speeches, and they're absolutely fascinating to see the different reflections and also the speeches that we've had beforehand. And so I thought what I would like to do tonight was to talk about, actually bounce off what we've heard tonight. And one of those things that we heard was really a discussion about the state of the nation and the world as it is at the moment, where we have such dramatic movements in the politics that are unsettling us and such dramatic polarisation. And one of those things that's happened recently is we've had this decision not to include the word diversity, not to allow the word diversity to be part of anything, basically, in America. And I think it shocked many of us. It's particularly shocked people in New Zealand because it's been one of the things we've been proudest of, is that we have been a place that has strived to include people and to be diverse. And at the same time, we've had an issue in our own country where there's been a debate about our treaty. And really what I see is a kind of simplification of our cultural foundation for the country. It's really hurt a lot of people. And I was thinking about in my own job, and I'm now the MP for Mount Albert, I've had so many discussions that have challenged me because I've needed to learn to listen. I've needed to actually learn to listen to people who I don't know very well. And I've thought about the fear that is in so many of us about learning new things and listening, truly listening to people. And some of those discussions that I have, they're ones that challenge me because I feel at the end of them so ignorant. I don't understand where people have come from. I don't understand the adversities in their lives. They are truly sometimes overwhelming and beyond me because they've been through such painful situations. And it's absolutely my job to learn to listen. But I think that's the thing that we can do well in this country. We've got a good foundation for it. And we can do that. And it's the opposite of what's happening in America, where there's been this movement to stop even talking about, stop even using the word diversity. We need to embrace that. And I'm trying to do it every day, and I'm pretty sure that most of us are. And I think we can be proud of the heritage we've come from and reject that kind of approach and understand that it comes out of fear. I think it's the way that I have developed empathy I didn't have when I was younger. I didn't really understand what people had been through. And I look back and I think, how could I have not known? But I just simply didn't know. So in terms of the theme of tonight, I think that dialogue is education, because you've got to be willing to take the step of actually listening to things that are uncomfortable and new and being curious and actually listening with an open heart. Thank you.
We would now like to welcome Anuja Jenna Crotet from Ministry of Education.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Merhaba, salam alaikum, guten tag, buongiorno. So the reason why I've greeted you in some different languages is because when you look at me, I might look like somebody from somewhere, but like Tanner shared, you asked the question, where are you from? And it's a really hard question to answer for someone like myself. So I made some notes while Tanner was talking about diaspora. So I want to talk about diaspora individuals often experience a complex sense of belonging, navigating multiple cultures and countries, while maintaining ties to their heritage and homeland, resulting in a unique transnational identity. So that's something which is my lived experience, and I have been in New Zealand for 23 years. I came a year later than Tana arrived here, so 23 years. And to be honest, I haven't spoken to a large gathering for a long time, so I don't have a prepared speech. And I'll tell you how I came about here. Today is my first time in this gathering, and thank you so much for this privilege and all the good work that you're doing as a community. And I had the honor and privilege of visiting Tanir and Nazifa's center, Little Pearls, and working with them and experiencing the good work that they do, the valuable work they do for the community, and they're there for, and the leadership, and the staff, and the kayako, and the children, tamariki. So thank you so much for all that you do. So I stand here, I've worn many different hats. So I've been an ECE educator, EC kayako, that's my primary identity. And I've been in the EC sector for the last 3 decades. My daughter is 32, so I had my own center then. So I'm going to come here talking about a bit about my research on emotional labor and teacher well-being. So why I had this research evolve was because I wanted to advocate for EC teachers and want to advocate for my EC students coming from different nationalities. So I'll just talk a little bit about the research, and please feel free to come and reach out to me and talk to me and ask me more questions, because I'm passionate about advocacy for EC teachers and the important work that you do with the most important little people in our country, our tamariki. So there hasn't been much research on emotional labor. So what is emotional labor? It's not a new concept, but there is very little research on emotional labor. So we know about physical labor. The emotional labor is just what the name says. It's the labor of your emotions, the emotions which you can't show. So when there is a difference or a discrepancy between your emotions that you show outside and the emotions that you feel inside, and when that's used for commercial purposes, like Ali Harschild came up with the term emotional labor because of a study with the flight attendants. So as the flight attendants, you have to have a persona. So outside persona, and the organization needs that. So coming from Kayako, EC side, as EC teachers, you have to be a lot of people. You have to be a friend, a counselor, a teacher, a cook, sometimes a cleaner, a plumber, everything. And all the time you have to maintain that persona. So the labor is within that, and that is a lot of times unpaid. So that is what my research is about. And I've got 15 pages of published articles, which I'm not going to read, but I'll just put it up. I created a framework which I'll just talk about because it's easier. I don't want to take up too much airtime. So in the center of this framework is, one of the frameworks it's the teacher advocacy. So why we would like to have research on emotional labor is to advocate for our teachers, the teachers who are doing the important work, the most valuable work in society. One of the most valuable work in the society is to bring up our tamariki, the citizens of tomorrow. So the advocacy is in the center, emotional labor, and that depends on many different factors of leadership, the support they get from the center leadership, which I found when I went to Little Pearls, the leadership structure. Unless the leadership is supportive, the teachers are not supported. Teachers are not supported, then it has an impact on the tamariki. So there's leadership and there is team support, and it all sits on the face of occupational health and safety and outcomes for teachers, outcomes for children, and outcomes for families. So there is a lot more that I can talk about, but teacher well-being and emotional labor is linked to Tamariki's well-being. And I am so happy to be in this esteemed environment with so many people doing such good work. And like a lot of speakers before me said, that it's not one person, it's a lot of hands and on boots on the ground, like someone said, needed to make a change and to make a difference, and to speak about issues which are not spoken about, to face the elephant in the room. So with my research, I wanted to actually speak up about the conditions of teachers' work environments, about the barriers they face, and about teachers who come from different parts of the world. So one of my jobs was as a lecturer, and I've had lots of international students who come to New Zealand, speak many different languages, and the barriers they face, and then they go to centers and do their practicum. Again, the barriers they face. So unfortunately, like some of you said, that it stems from fear. But unless we speak up, unless each one of us speaks up against it and be professional, be knowledgeable, and speak up and make a difference in your own way. So my little contribution is a little bit of research and mahi. Thank you so much.
And we would now like to welcome Deputy Mayor from the Auckland Council, Ms. Desley Simpson.
Ena mana, ena reo, e rau rangatira mā, tēnā tamihi niwi kia koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Assalamu alaikum, good evening everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here as Deputy Mayor of Auckland to celebrate what has been a most amazing Pearl of Islands Foundation Education and Dialogue Ramadan dinner for 2025. I'd like to start by thanking the Pearl of Islands Foundation for bringing us together, for their welcoming and warm and inclusive evening, not to mention the outstanding meal we've just had. It's good actually to stand up again after that. As we've actually heard, and congratulations to you, Auckland stands out as one of the world's most culturally diverse cities, surpassing even London and LA. With over 48,000 people in Auckland identifying as Muslim, so that's 2.9% of our total population. Our city is without doubt a vibrant mix of cultures, beliefs and traditions. As a multicultural city, it is important that we celebrate our differences, encourage understanding and respect each other in both their thoughts and their education, and the very big emphasis on promoting inclusivity. The way we bridge cultures through education and dialogue is many and varied, but this event is without doubt one of them. And I know that everybody in this room tonight is committed to that cause. So once again, I thank the Pearl of Islands Foundation for their long-standing support of cultural diversity in our wonderful city and the way they contribute to advancing the social cohesion between us all. In my opinion, our city is stronger because of our diversity and because of people like you, all here tonight, who promote and support that. And if I could end with one political statement, I would say that as we work towards October and the local government elections, please think of someone you know that represents your culture, your diversity, and urge them to put their hands up and help represent Auckland going forward. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
Okay, could we now please get Rakesh Naidu, Strategic Advisor from New Zealand Police, to say a few words as well.
He honere, he kororia ki te atua, he manarongo ki te whenua, he whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. E whare etu nei, tēnā koe, e ngā manuhiri o tēnei rohe, kei te mihi, kei te mihi, kei te mihi. E nā mana, e nā reo, e nā rau rangatira mā, e ra karangatanga maha, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā ra tātou katoa. I was sitting and enjoying a very delicious meal, and Yeltsin approached me and he said, can you kindly say a few words? And I said to Brother Yeltsin, as you do, there are so many illustrious speakers that are speaking before me, respected, honorable, and I think I should be given a pass. And he said, no, I insist. So in the spirit of the host asking you, and I'm just looking to compliment a few of the what has already been said tonight. On behalf of our Police Commissioner, Richard Chambers, I'd like to express his best wishes to you here tonight and wish you Ramadan Kareem and Assalamu Alaikum to all of you. And acknowledgements to all the dignitaries that are here, with special mention to my respected colleague, Superintendent Naila Hassan, as well as to my colleague, Mariam Arif. Mariam, where are you? Oh, there you are. Kia ora, Mariam. The Commissioner's priorities has outlined to us several of his priorities: supporting the front line, making sure leadership is visible, and also focus on core policing. There are two parts, there are many functions of policing, and two of those core policings is community reassurance and prevention. And in that spirit, I'm very proud to be a New Zealander. In my view, we live in the best country in the world. We live in some of the best cities in the world. I'm a Wellingtonian. So for me, Wellingtonian is the best city. And sitting next to the Deputy Mayor, we can have, in the spirit of that dialogue tonight, an open conversation. But we take many things for granted that many other people in the world do not have. And we forget how good we have it. The ability to have running water, the ability to have electricity, to be able to voice our opinions, to be able to walk down the street and know we have public transport, to have shops open. These are the small things in life that are really important. Over the weekend, we acknowledged the 15th of March terrorist attacks. And part of the discussions that took place is, how do we maintain trust and confidence in one another? And how we do that is through the big things and through the practical little things. And the practical little things of our proud nation is to be able to sit around the table with senior politicians, mayors, councillors, respected police leaders, interfaith representatives, business people, taxi drivers, teachers, and have a dialogue about our nation. That is the little things that make us a truly great democracy, a representative democracy, a democracy that is there for all of us, that respects the rule of law. So I'm proud to be a New Zealander. The second is we give thanks. Tonight is to give thanks to the education sector in this country, to the teachers that are in the room, for what you do for our children in order to shape them. To see the Rawari family here tonight, and the Rawari family have been coming here for many years, and you would know those beautiful wahine who have grown up singing in front of you, and how proud they are, and how fortunate we are to have them. To be in the room with all of you respected community leaders and interfaith representatives, these are the things we give thanks for. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is the difference that we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life that we have led. And that is from a great Methodist, Nelson Mandela. And in that spirit, we acknowledge Fatullah Gulen for his contribution, for the significance of the life that he has led, that has helped shape the Pearl of Islands Foundation, and for your contribution to society. And finally, I take this opportunity here to acknowledge my colleague, Naila Hassan. In this environment, when we get the opportunity like I have tonight, to acknowledge a senior female Muslim member of police that we rarely get the opportunity to do, to thank you for your service, to acknowledge the challenges and the road that you have trodden to where you are now. All of us collectively should be proud of leaders like Naila that are here in the room tonight. We should be proud of those in our representative democracy, like all of you, that makes our nation the truly greatest country in the world. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa.
Thank you, Rakesh. Now I'd like to welcome Apula Rees Altogavaya, Chair of the Otara Papatoetoe Local Board.
Ramadan Mubarak. Akuranga tira, tēnā koutou katoa, e mihi ana ki te kaupapa e whakahuihui nei a tātou, ko tai mai mātou i tēnei rā, i runga te reo kāranga, nō reira, kei te mihi, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko ai au, ko au te hea mana tapuari o rohe o Otara ki Papatoetoe, ko a Puru Rees Altogavaya tōku ingoa. Kia ora nā mālo e lelei, whakarowhara yatu, pula vanaka, namaste, sat shri akal, assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to firstly acknowledge the presence of our elected members, Deputy Mayor, our MPs, Camilla and Helen. I also represent the Otara Papatoetoe Local Board. We have our Deputy Chair, V. Hausia, here as well, and of Dr. Chowdhury, who's a well-known member in our ethnic communities. I do understand some other local board members are present as well. As a politician, I have to do those, say hello to all the other politicians in here. So, but to tell you the truth, Lotu Fuli, the chair of, the councillor of the Manukau ward, she was meant to do this speech and she couldn't make it today. And so now I'm doing it. And so I was quickly trying to do my notes at the back there. So please bear with me as I go through this. Just want to also thank you, Te Kai Karakia Crown. Thank you very much to Kuya Crown. Also to our the recitation by the Quran by Sheikh Muhammad Amir, as well as the Court of Prayer by Adam Salamiz. I think that's an acknowledgement that we have been blessed spiritually by our spiritual leaders, and so just wanted to thank you for doing that tonight. As an islander, I was really wanting to eat the food at the back there. I actually saw the dates and I was like, should I eat it before everything started? And actually there was a time when everyone needed to eat, so lucky I held off. But I must say, acknowledge that the food is always good here. Thank you to, of course, the organisation, the awesome MCs, and in particular Yelson and the rest of the group of the Pearl of Islands. I did want to reflect on, acknowledge the Community Leadership Awardee, Maritha, and the Public Service Awardee, Helene Crown. Some of the things that Maritha did share with us, I wanted to restate again. Breaking of bread together is a form of resistance and to division. Hey, that's really awesome. That's really empowering for people that maybe in this tumultuous time we don't know what to do, but breaking bread is a simple thing that everyone can do, and we've definitely done that tonight. And to understand, we want to be understood, we want to understand others, and we want to converse and share our stories with each other, and we need to speak up for each other. Workplaces is a good place to start as well, in our homes, at the community level. And as a local board, it's been important that we reflect our diverse communities. For those that don't know, in Otara Papatoetoe, only 17% of our population is Pākehā, and so half of us are Indian, the other half is Islander and Māori, and so we've got a diversity there, and it's the diversity and strength that empowers us and makes us a lot stronger together. And so, I think some of the things that we've done as a local board, Dr. Chowdhury instituted our diversity forums, where we invite our ethnic communities, our Māori and Pacific communities, to hold meetings within council buildings. Too often we're too afraid to walk in, we just drive past and go, oh, I don't know what happens in there. But by inviting people to come inside, celebrate, have a meal again, and to celebrate and enjoy each other's company, that breaks down barriers, in particular what can be a terrifying place if you're not used to going into a council hall, into Parliament and so forth. And so at our local board level, I think we're trying to break down those barriers on behalf of our diverse communities. There's a whole bunch of other things that we have been doing. We've even had arguments with some of our council staff about migrant banking. I'm like, well, you know, our communities have been here for decades. Indians have been here for over 100 years, and yet we're still terming them as others, as migrants. And so I think there has to be an acceptance that we have been here for a long time in our different shades and different colours. And so we should no longer be saying those people are newcomers to this country. We've all been here, and we should call this home and not be othered by the majority. And then probably just the last thing I wanted to say was a Samoan proverb. It is, o whanau e manu e whawhanga I whunga o la'au, o whanau a tangata e whanga I upu. And so that means the offspring of birds are fed with nectar, and the children of people are fed with words. And so I guess in the theme of fasting, here's a proverb about how do we feed our children. Of course, we feed them with food, but more importantly, it's how do we feed them with education, with wisdom, with advice. And so, as has been said by the keynote speaker, each and every one of us in our homes, we can start teaching our kids these values that have been spoken today, the values that have been spoken about in terms of Ramadan, by also by the man's name, Gulen, Futala Gulen. And so, you know, the work that he does at a global level, that's awesome. But in our families, we can actually start teaching our kids the ways that we spoke of today. So please, apologies that that was my attempt at trying to reflect on the awesome words that have been spoken today. And hopefully we can all go home safely. There's a last saying that we often use in Samoa, which is langi mama, which means clear skies. That's to bless everyone. May we have a blessing. No more rain outside. May we, all the traffic not be as busy as it was today, but may we all have a blessed life and continue to work with one another. Ma alofa tai. Thank you.
Thank you, Apu. Now our last floor reflections, our last speaker, Ibrahim Sheikh, President of Finance.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening, Kia ora, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the PLO Foundation for the wonderful iftar and wonderful dinner. Very well organized. Must acknowledge the leadership, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower His choicest blessings on the foundation and the leadership team. And today, what we're experiencing here is befitting to the theme, building cultures through education and dialogue. See around the room, see different cultures. And what we've been hearing through the speakers, it's so enlightening and so the education part and dialogue amongst ourselves is the dialogue that we've been talking about. But what is culture? From what I understand, culture is the foundation of who we are. It shapes our values, our tradition, and the way we see the world. But culture is not something we are simply born into. It is something we build, strengthen, and evolve. And the most powerful tool we have in this process are education and dialogue. But education alone is not enough. We must also engage in meaningful dialogues, conversations, especially those that challenge us, help break down the barriers of misunderstanding. When we talk with people from different backgrounds, we begin to see that our differences are not divisions. They are opportunities to grow. Dialogue builds bridges where walls once stood. In today's world, where cultural misunderstanding can often fuel conflict and division, we must commit to learning from each other, not just about each other. Schools and workplaces and communities must create spaces where people feel safe and share their experiences, ask difficult questions, and listen with open hearts. By investing in education, like what Pearl of Ireland Foundation is doing through the Little Pearls and other forums, and fostering genuine conversations and dialogues like today and other programs they host, we don't just preserve our culture, but we build it. We create a society that values diversity, respect, and differences, and works towards a shared value. Let me conclude by saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which says that seeking knowledge is compulsory on us. So seek knowledge from cradle to grave. So from the time you're born until you die. So that's the teaching of our Prophet. With that, thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mr. Ebrar. As we conclude this event, we invite former Member of Parliament and Co-Chairperson of the PIF Advisory Board, Dr. Ashraf Chowdhury, to the stage to deliver a few words and a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, and all the South Pacific greeting to all of you. The program says Pauline Cornwell. I'm not. She's my other half, in the sense that we are the co-chair of the advisory board of Pearl of Ireland. And it's been my privilege, pretty much from the beginning of Pearl of Ireland, I've been asked to be the board member and the chair of the Pearl of Ireland. And of course, over the years, when I was member of Parliament, started celebrating Ramadan in the Parliament. And we did it for many years, and then of course there was a bit of break. Good news is, we're going to do it again this year, next week. So, that's been one of the things that been missed last, few years. But we're very proud of the fact that it's all about dialogue and, talking to each other, understanding each other. And that's very important for me. All my life, that's what I've done with the community work, with the political work, that bring people together and talk to each other, not against each other, to each other. So, before I thank people, can I also ask the current board members, advisory board members, could you please stand up? There's some of them here tonight. There are only 3 of them here, well, 4 including myself. I want to say that the Pearl of Ireland got a foundation has got board members to advise them. They're non-paid, there's nothing there. It's just people of different backgrounds, different faiths. We have in the advisory board, we have a Jewish person, we have a Christian person, they are the leaders of the community, we've got a Muslim, we have a Hindu. So the idea is to have a group of people who can actually help steer what the Pearl of Ireland does. And there's always opportunity to get some more people in there. And if you think there's somebody out there who you think should be on our board as an advisory member, we'll be very happy about it. So thank you for standing up. Thank you for your work that you do. Now, I got to, I've been asked, as I said, until last night I didn't know that I was supposed to say, thank you to people. But can I say, I don't want to forget the names. I've been asked to particularly mention some of those people who have spoken tonight and the time they're given to this dinner tonight. By the way, the Pearl of Ireland has been doing the iftar dinners almost every second day of the whole month throughout the country. Not just Auckland, throughout the country. And this is no cost to anybody. This is what they do. The idea is to bring people together, have a dialogue with them, and remove any misunderstandings, or basically welcome people of all faiths. And that's one thing I like about it. That's why I'm part of it, that's what they do. And I'm very proud of that. Tonight, of course, we had our keynote speaker, who's, I believe, is left for Wellington. Given the weather it is, she probably had to leave. And Maratha Smith, she's gone now. Thank you for her beautiful speech she did. And of course, we had people who have spoken. Now, you just heard the names. And of course, we've got politicians here, my colleagues. Desiree, thank you for the work you do. And you've been a very regular member here. I think you should join us somewhere, formally. So thank you, and your partner here. That's great. And thank you, Helen. Thank you, you spoke. And thank you, Ms. Bellich. It's good to have you guys here. We used to have more MPs. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe they're coming to Wellington function. I think that's what they're going to be doing. Anyway, I have two police representatives here. Nyla, I've known you for a number of years now, but you have left south for the west. I'm not very happy with that. She was the superintendent in Manukau area, but now she's gone towards the west. And I know you do a great job. Thank you for the work you do and bringing people together. In fact, some of the dialogues that we were doing in the south, in the community, she started, bringing, police was hosting some of these dialogue with the communities and all that. Well, thank you for that. And Rakesh, of course, that's one of your job, I suppose, to liaise with ethnic communities. Thank you for what you do. Of course, Auckland is we just carry on that. You said Wellington is big.
You've got the best football team.
So, yeah, he's been here for many years, so he's a bit of a dual citizen. But we thank to all the other speakers. Ibrahim Sheikh, thank you. He's the president of the Islamic Federation of New Zealand, which is the top body of the Muslim community. And he's been in that position for a number of years now. Thank you for the work you do, and thank you for your words. And of course, Reese, a chair and the local board chair in Papatoi, and Hausia, who's the deputy chair. Thank you for coming out in a rainy weather like this today from the south, and they do a great job. And I heard there were some other local board members, but I don't really recognize their name, so sorry for that. And Ravari family, thank you. We've been to a couple of times together to Australia visits. You guys are so wonderful. We had one function there with thousands of people there. Beautiful celebration where I think there were about 20 or 30 countries represented in Sydney. And, these kids, they performed there. Thank you for the work that you've done over the years, and it's lovely to see your whole family. Thank you for that. And just want to say finally to the Pearl of Ireland Foundation, the Chief Executive, Mr. Yeltsin, and all your other staff member, of course, the Chief Executive of the Little Pearls. Where is he? Disappeared, is he? Anyway, somewhere there. Anyway, they do a great job. One of the things that I love about this education they do, I have visited now the Turkish schools in a number of countries, and many of those schools I visited personally. And the reason, the schools, for example, of course they run 2 childcare centers here, but this group, they run a lot of schools, particularly in Australia, but 8 of them, I think 8 or not? 15 now. And an amazing thing is, I know I visited a number of them myself. They are the top schools in Victoria and New South Wales. They're top school in the state. And I really, as a former professor, I want to know why. What is it that they are so high-ranking, top schools in there? And what I found out was, and that's something I suppose all the teachers who are tonight should know, one thing they do very special, all the schools, and they do it here too, is they visit the children's families in their homes. At least once a year, they visit, they send their teachers to go and see the parents, sit with them, have a cup of tea, and ask them any questions, what they can do better and all that. This is not done in our system here. That the teachers actually go to, children's homes and liaise with the parents. And I think that was the secret of success, where parents were proud that here's a school coming to them, the teachers coming to them. And they basically had this, partnership, if you like, with the parents. And that's why the kids performed so well. And a lot of the kids were going to the top universities. These are high schools I'm talking about. And, all getting top grades in the States, in Australia. And that's wonderful. That's what we are trying to do, actually, with the Pearl of Ireland, trying to get to start with a primary school. And I hope someday, when they get some funds, we can do that. And that's one of our ambitions. And I hope it happens in my lifetime, that we get some school, start with the primary and to the high school, so we can maybe, I don't know, the ACT Party people here, maybe we should talk to them about these special schools they have. Because it's wonderful. But anyway, tonight I want to thank the whole, staff and directors of the Perla Foundation, and also, last but not the least, thank you, Sorrento, for the hospitality. We appreciate the work you do. You tolerate us year after year. Thank you for the beautiful food that you offer, the variety of food that you offer to all our guests, and we thank you for all the work that you do. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure there's a dessert for you, so don't run away. Please enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraf. And I think I'm one of the lucky ones in this room. I had the privilege to study and graduate from one of the Hizmet schools in Australia, from Melbourne. And I experienced a lot of those things that you mentioned from a very young age. And after graduating, I did, stay at the school to do mentoring, and then eventually to start my teaching journey there. Thank you.
As we come to the end of the evening, we would now like to close with an ending karakia from Doug Raweri.
I'll just quickly, to our two hosts, put your hand together for these fellas. They've brought a lot of, with their words and their wairua, they've brought us together, so we thank you. To our distinguished guests, we also thank you. To our recipients of the awards for your mahi in our community and building our community and making it stronger, we thank you. To all our guest speakers with their words of wisdom from their point of view and sharing it with us, we also thank you. To our ringawera, which is those people in the back who have prepared our kai and cleaned our plates up and collected all our dishes, we thank you. To the people behind the scenes that have worked hard to make this event happen every year, year in and year out, we also thank you. And to the Pearl Foundations, for being able to bring our whānau together and making our communities one, we thank you. So I'll finish with our karakia for tonight. A kua tai te wā mō te whakairi e te kete, kōrero e te kete whakaro. Hei tiki atu mā tātou, pau hihiri, pau rarama, pau o te whakaro, pau o te tangata, pau o te aroha. Te pau e here nei i a tātou. A turuturu o whiti whakamaua kia o tīna, tīna, haume e hui e, tae ki e. Tō te akina māramatanga e tātua, ki tō mātou āreki kuini ngā waihono i te pō, ki ngā tīnana e mā wiwi ana, tae noa ki a mātou katoa i te pō nei mai Māori rea. Kia ora.
Thank you for the karakia to the Rawiri family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being a part of this memorable event. We wish you have a very wonderful evening and enjoy the desserts. Thank you.